So the 3 day versus a 4 day versus a 5 day work week. What is the best schedule? I have been working since age 16, 26-ish, 26 and a half years. And I have worked all three different schedules as far as full time goes. So I want to shed some light on what I think is the best work schedule. Now, I know that there are anti-work people out there that say, "Oh, no work schedule's good. Doesn't matter what you work; they're all terrible." And there's some truth to that. Yeah, we all don't want to work, right? But in reality, we need to work, and a good work-life balance is what is really needed in the United States today. We've needed it for a long time. I'm a firm believer that the 5 day work week sucks. 5 day, 40-hour work week only works good, in my opinion. It is only good for the businesses, A, because they can service the customers 5 days, right? But B, because of childcare. All right, you work the regular 9 to 5:30 schedule, or an 8 to 4:30, or an 8:30 to 5. Those seem to be pretty typical standard work days. You have to have that 30-minute unpaid paid lunch at most places. So it gives you some time to get to the daycare. A lot of daycare centers have penalties if you don't pick up your kids by 6 o'clock. So you need that earlier shift. A lot of people will even want the 7 a.m. shift 5 days a week. So you're working like 7 to 3:30. Some places might be like a 7 to 4 or a 7:30 to 4, something like that. But it only works for daycare. And honestly, it's the only reason why it works. And that's how the daycare centers are set up. But outside of those two things, good for the customers of the business, easier for the business to staff 5 days a week, and daycare needs, that schedule sucks. Like, nobody truly wants to work 5 days a week. You really don't want to work 5 days a week. Why would you? The 2 day weekend goes by very fast. Like, it's just exhausting. You have to travel into work or back 5 days a week. I know we have work from home now, but honestly, that's all being taken back to the 5 days in office at most. Probably 80% or more places now, between private and government. You're working five. If you have a 5 day schedule, you're going in the office 5 days a week. You might have a day off, work from home, or 2 days off. You might have that hybrid schedule, which it can work for a lot of people. But all in all, the 5 day work week, in my opinion, is lousy. It's been around since Henry Ford established it back in like 1923 or something like that. I think that we need to standardize a better work-life balance in our country. Let's move to the 4 day work week. My opinion is that the 4 day work week is a sweet spot. We have lots of companies, huge companies, including like Amazon, Home Depot moving to 4 day work weeks. Home Depot. I work at Home Depot. I work in a distribution center. We're on 4 day and 3 day schedules. The 4 day runs Monday through Thursday. For day and night shift, overnight shift. I'm on the overnight shift right now. Eventually, I'll move to the key one day shift schedule Monday through Thursday. I'm on what they call key 2 night shift. So right now, technically, my schedule is 6:30 p.m. to 5 a.m. It works. My wife prefers that I be on day shift, but for me, I'm a night owl. It does work fairly well. I wish that I could get off a little earlier in the night so I could kind of get to bed a little earlier than 6:30 in the morning. But about half the time, my manager has me coming in at 5:30. So 5:30 p.m. to 4 isn't bad. Sometimes it's 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock to 3:30 isn't bad. On my shift, I'm usually there past 3:30 because that's a weird time to get off and clock out. There's still some stuff going on the overnight shifts. I usually stay until 4 anyway. But a 5:30 p.m. to 4 a.m. shift would work well for me. 4 days a week. And you have those 72 hours off between shifts. So you have 3 days. It's a nice sweet spot. It's just enough time to relax at home, go out and run errands. Like today, I went out to Home Depot. It's Saturday. I went to Home Depot, went to another hardware store, and I went to Ollie's to get a few things. So I spent a few hours this morning running errands, so to speak. And I feel relaxed doing it. I'm not I'm not under pressure to try and get it all done. I'm not stressed out to get it all done in one day because you only have the next day off on Sunday before you go right back to work on Monday. And I'm off on Friday. So Friday, I usually go out. I relax. I sleep in. I go out for lunch. I eat a late lunch around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 3:30. And then we'll usually eat at home or go out to eat around 6:30, 7 o'clock. I'll have 2 meals on Friday and just relax, watch TV, go on the internet all night Friday night. It's like a decompressing day. It works for me. Saturday is usually my errand day if I'm not DJing. I also DJ on the weekends. I have a DJ business I've had for 25, going on 26 years. I DJ about 20 this year and last year. In 2025 and 2024, it's been about 23, 24 Saturdays a year I'm DJing. It's not bad. In years past, in my younger days, I would DJ 42 Saturdays a year, 43. That was a lot. I don't want to do that anymore. I want a lot more most of my weekends back. So overall, I think that the 4-day work week is the sweet spot. It's my favorite schedule for an equilibrium between everything, between work-life balance and working at work. Now, I will say we do have 10-hour shifts. It's 10 and a half hours with a 30-minute lunch break. So you're really spending 42 hours at work versus 42 and a half on a 5-day, and you get that day off. So it works for me. I think that if we could find a way to lower the amount of hours that would be standard in our country from 40 down to, say, 36, and you had 4 9-hour shifts, that would be a really nice sweet spot overall for the American worker. Or even if we could lower that to 8 hours or 8.5, something like a 34-hour work week, so you could still try and get to your the daycare for parents that have kids that are in daycare. I think we could really think of ways to make that work. We could be more productive. I think that where I work is more productive on the 4-day schedule than we ever were on the 5-day, and they already proved that with the numbers that we do over the years. So I think that the whole country really needs to look at standardizing a 4-day work week. I'm an elder millennial. I am a xennial. I'm born in '82. I think the younger generation is really, as time marches on, we're going to get to a point where we're going to require this. Gen Z, the younger millennials, I think that it's kind of a necessity to change that. There's a lot of, everyone I talk to, hardly anybody wants to work a 5-day work week. The people that do have nothing else going on in their life. They're older. They're usually boomers. They're set in their way, and yeah, they're like, oh no, I can't imagine doing that. I want the 5-day. So the 4-day, the vast majority of workers, I think, would want a 4-day work week. Let me know. Comment below. Like and subscribe to my channel. I have a small channel. I'm trying to grow it. I'm going to be doing more conversations like this. In the past, I did a lot of DJ videos. I'm trying to branch out and do other videos of stuff that just come up in my mind that I really want to kind of talk about and get off my chest. So I'm kind of passionate about this. I really want to do a 4-day work week in our country. If we had a big vote, I'd be voting 4-day work week 100%. It's the best option. Now let's discuss the 3-day work week. I have a 3-day work week at Home Depot on the weekends. We have key 3 and 4. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's 12 hours, half-hour break. So it's a 36-hour schedule. Now, they don't pay you the difference. That would be great if they did. I really want to work the week. You'd have people really wanting to work the weekends. The lousy part of that schedule is it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The worst days that most people don't want to work 2 out of 3 of those days. So it's a tougher schedule for attendance and staffing. But some people, it works for them because they can work the weekend while their significant other works during the week, and they can watch their kids during the week, Monday through Thursday. that is a plus for certain parents um, that have young kids that don't want to pay for daycare, and you get 4 days a week off with your family. So it can work. Now, if your significant other's working during the week and you're working the weekends, you don't see them much. So there's a downer there. There is a downside to that point. And for me, I would like to work a 3 day. If they offered it for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'd jump on it. Because for me, I have my DJ business on weekends, so it would provide a little more time off in that situation. I'd have more time before the weekend to maybe prepare. Let's say I'd have a full day off Friday, I have Monday off, so I can relax before coming back to work Tuesday. So there would be benefits to a 3 day. But I found out, you're only working like 150 days a year on a 3 day schedule. It's pretty good. But it's really good on paper. What I found out after being on the 3 day for a while is you have too much time off to spend your money. It's very easy to spend money. So when you're 4 days a week off every week, it's great at first. You're loving it. You're like, man, this is really good. I have so much time off, 4 days in a row. This is awesome. It's pretty cool the first, say, 6 weeks. 6 to 8 weeks. It was good. After the initial 2 months, though, you start to realize you have a lot of time off. You're blowing your money, going out to eat. It's very hard to condition yourself to stay home and not spend money. When you have 4 days, you have that whole extra day off to go out and try and do things to keep yourself occupied. So and at my work, I was working at a 4 hour per week deficit, meaning I'm only making 36 hours worth of pay instead of 40. So it was 72 hours versus 80 every paycheck. And we did have the option to come in for a 4 hour shift, but then they changed that. See, when we first went to that schedule, there was an option. You could do it whenever. You just come in, work your 4 hours, get your 40. You can come in on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, didn't matter. Well, they changed that to try and, what they were trying to do was save on labor. So they said, well, now you're going to have to schedule it, and it's going to become a part of your permanent schedule. So they threw away the real benefit of having a 3 day schedule. It turned into a 4 day anyway if you wanted the 40 hours. And it was only a 4 hour shift. Do you want to come in on a 4th day every week? Choose your day, have that same day to come in for 4 hours at the start of the opposite shift. So you'd be coming in at 8 a.m., working until noon. And it was Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, or Thursday. And then you're only have 3 days a week off anyway. And you have to drive into work for only 4 hours of pay. It's just it was a lousy proposition to me. I didn't like that. I'd rather just keep my 4 days off. So, if you're paid for 40 and you have a 3 day schedule, it works great. Or if you're paid some kind of a differential to make it up, kind of. We didn't even get differential pay. So I was always saying, if we had $1.50 per hour differential pay for working the weekend, I'd be more inclined to work it, that would help out, but they didn't give that to us. So overall, the 3 day work schedule, it can be good, it can be great if all you care about is having 4 days a week off and having more time to yourself. There you go, the 3 day work schedule is good. They are long shifts, so you're working 12 and a half hours. Does everyone work 12-hour shifts with a half-hour break? No. I mean, they're long. You do get used to it. I got used to it after the initial month. It took me about a month to get used to it. But on Sundays, after about, we'd work 6 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. On Sundays, after about 2:33, you're just dying to go home. After 2.5 long days, and you have a few more hours left, it's slow. People start leaving early. Especially if it's football game. If it's football season, there's a 4 o'clock game that they want to see. People leave early. So you have less staff trying to get everything done on Sunday. And it's busy towards the end of the shift. So the 3 day work week, it has its pros and cons for sure. I think if you're younger and you want 4 days a week off, it works. If you're older and you're used to working long shifts, and you want multiple days off on a road or relax or do whatever, there's an old guy on that shift, about 60 years old, that just loved to go fishing on his days off. So the 3 day weekend schedule worked for him. He kept his 4 days off during the week and he'd go fishing. Sometimes he'd come in and work an overtime shift. But overall, the 3-day, it's good. I don't think we could standardize that kind of a schedule in a standard, type of schedule. But I think that the 4-day work week is a sweet spot. 3 days is great. I take the 3-day over a 5-day, and the 5-day is just old. We need to get rid of the 5-day schedule. Just my opinion. I know some people love it. I don't know why. You only have 2 days off a week. If you're working from home, it helps because you can spend time at home and work lightly at the computer. It's less work than having to go into work and working, say, more focused on work. I get that, but comment below. Let me know what are your thoughts. Do we standardize a 4-day work schedule? Do you like the 4-day over the 5-day? Do you like the 3-day over the 4-day? What schedule do you think is a best work schedule in terms of 3-day, 4-day, 5-day? Yeah, let me know. And also, please remember to like and subscribe. And I'd love you for it because I really am trying to grow this channel. You all have a great afternoon, great day, and I'll have another video out in another day or two.